Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new, subscribe to our channel. Let's have a Euro-like target of 700 and comment your thoughts on our predicted lineup in the comment section down below. Who would you play? Who would you put in the lineup? Who needs a rest, etc.? If anybody, do we go full strength? Do we rest a few? The decision is yours in the comment section down below. But we'll give our thoughts. But before we do, we're going to just have a little look at Alkmaar's offensive setup and defensive setup. Me and Justin did the match preview yesterday that you all really enjoyed. Ryan, we haven't got your thoughts yet. So what are your thoughts on Aston Villa facing Alkmaar? Are you nervy, excited? What's your vibe?
No, I'm actually quite looking forward to this game. After a mixed start, I think it's time for Aston Villa to announce itself on the European scene. And Unai will want to mark his anniversary as well. So, yeah, dead excited for it. Initially, when the draw was made, I thought this could be our toughest fixture. Obviously, we had a very difficult start in Poland. Sort of got a slap in the face, didn't we? That night, and sort of we got an awakening to what European football's all about. And if you're not at it, you're going to get punished by these teams, because a Premier League team rocking up is pretty much like a cup final. So we've got to be on it, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a bit more technical, the game, whereas Legia was in your face, like passionate football. I think this one will be more suited to the Villa. So, yeah, very excited.
Good stuff. So let's get stuck into some of the slides that we've got from AVFC Scout. Go ahead on Twitter and follow him on socials. His threads, his analysis, his scouting is top class. And that's why he has got a feature on our podcast. And hopefully we are going to get him on the podcast as well. So it'll be great to hopefully have him on for the Alkmaar game against Villa at Villa Park then. So the offensive setup, AZ Alkmaar will look to play crosses to the back post. Number 10, David, the likely target. He may knock the ball across to a teammate or look to score himself. AZ scored 2 versus Szyrinski and 1 versus Legia from the back post cross scenarios. We got done with this against Legia Warsaw in the game that we played there as well. So really got to be careful. Both fullbacks have got to have an eye for whoever's on their shoulder. I do think Luca Dean and Kashi's defending has got a lot better this season as well. And I think they are sort of starting to get a lot more awareness anyway. So we've got the next one, the offensive setup. AZ will attack with numbers, number 9 and number 10, occupying the centre-backs like a front two. The right wing has moved infield, right back high and wide. So that's Sugawara, the right back. And as you can see, the left back is making a kind of a diamond in the middle. And the left winger's staying wide, attacking midfielder's gone to support the striker as well. So you can really see from these graphics. We did show this yesterday as well on the match preview. In this example, the left back inverts into midfield. The right back is really high on that opposite side. And then we've got another example of good movement between the front men. Number 9 makes the first run across the front post. Number 10 to the back post, and they don't initially get the ball. Number 9 takes a step back towards the penalty spot, taking his defender's attention. Number 10, that men makes a run into the space created at the front post and gets a tap in. So this is some great analysis from AVFC Scout as well. Interestingly, Ajax are near the bottom of the Eredivisie as well, so they're having an absolute shocker. And then I think this is finally on the offensive setup. AZ are a possession-based side and will look to build from the back. Both centre-backs are good on the ball. Number 25 has played in midfield. Number 5 has played as a fullback. The right back, Sugawara, has the most touches, heavily involved in the build-up. He'll look to invert into midfield and play passes. So with all that said, Justin, how do you feel about their attacking setup?
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? I mean, we covered it yesterday, and They're very adept at getting forward and scoring goals, and they're very confident with the run of form they're on in the league, unbeaten. So it's going to be a real test for us, which is why I know we come on to it. I think we're going to go strong in the game. Their movement is very good. They seem, I haven't seen them play, but they seem a bit Brighton-esque in the way they sort of develop the ball. And, you know, we've had a decent result this season against Brighton. So I don't think Unai Emery will be too concerned. I think he'll know exactly what we are facing on Thursday night, and he'll have a plan to sort of combat that. So I think we've got the players that are good enough to beat them. I think it's just about going out there on the day and executing the plan that we've got ready for them. But they are going to be a threat. There's no doubt about it. At home against a Premier League club, like Ryan said, you know, we're a big scalp for anyone now. They're going to want to come and beat us. So I do think the way they play will actually feed into a positive for us, though, because they won't be sitting back. They won't be trying to hit us on the break. So hopefully it will give us that opportunity to retain the ball and spring breaks of our own and utilise the players we've got to maybe try and get around the back and hopefully hurt them as much as they're going to hurt us. I think it's going to be a bit end-to-end, to be honest.
Let's have a look then. And the defensive side of things, AZ's back four are not the most aerially dominant, particularly Sugawara. There may be an opportunity for Villa to play goal kicks more direct, like we saw against Brighton at home. A tall, wide player like Zaniolo up against Sugawara will be able to win the aerial battle and get us up the pitch. It's hard to show from the screenshot, but in this example, Zrinski have played a long goal kick up to their left winger. He then flicks the ball down to a teammate, and a few passes later, Zrinski score. Defensively, AZ will fall back into two banks of four. They can be quite compact, allowing space out wide. In this example, they don't pressure the ball, allowing time and space to pick out a diagonal ball to a wide man. And then finally, again, AZ can find themselves narrow, leaving space out wide. I've noticed quite a few examples where the left back, Moller Wolf, has been left on an island. Leon Bailey lives for these kind of 1v1 situations with tons of space to play into. He can cause them problems. Ryan, where do you feel like we're going to win this game? Where's the area that you look at with this Alkmaar side and think this is where we can hurt you?
All over, mate. All over. No, seriously, mate. Seriously, all over. The way we can mix it up, right? The way we can mix it up. What I witnessed the other day, the way we can go from possession to counter-attacking. I think this game, like, completely suits us. Like, AVS Scout, he's done a tremendous job with these slides. The detail he's given is incredible, incredible. And you look at that Brighton performance, which he picked out there. Emi Martinez, like, it was direct kick after direct kick after direct kick. His stats for that game for long kicking was like super exceeded any stat he'd had under Unai Emery, and that was a clear tactic on how we wanted to approach that game. If we want to control the game, we've got the ability to control it. I think we will have a lot of possession and draw them onto us, and then we can counter, man. We can counter. And as AVFC Scout pointed out again, the space is in between. He'll be targeting that left back. A Leon Bailey maybe looking for that pace. And like you say, if you give us space in the middle, we've got ballers like Louise, Kamara. They can ping them diagonals. Like, it's gorgeous, Eddie. It's gorgeous to watch them floating diagonal balls in. You've got Luca Dean offering that width as well. So I believe we're fully stocked to give them a game. And I watched the highlights against, was it Heravina, who they beat 3-0. And it weren't really a 3-0 scoreline, Nah. They had a lot of chances. Yeah, they created a lot of chances. And then the goals, I know the striker, he's banging form. He's in top form. He's scored a bag full of goals. But I was watching his goals, and it was like Tammy Abraham in the Championship for Villa. Where you just get that extra half a second more to finish. And I seen one of the goals. He brought it down and he finished it. And I thought, no chance of you getting that time against the Villa. So I do feel I'm super confident about this game. Don't know why, because it will be tough. The atmosphere, they're going to be intimidating. They're going to be on top of us. But I just technically, Unai this season has instilled so much belief in us tactically and how we can mix it up and how we can hurt these teams. I've just got real full confidence going into this game.
Love it. Right, so we're going to get into the predicted lineup now. We know there's something a little bit different. I'm going to be the independent adjudicator, okay? So Ryan and Justin are going to pick the team. But if they cannot agree on a certain player, then I will get the deciding vote, okay? So that's how we're going to do this today. So, right then, let's go. So, going to go with Ryan first then. Goalkeeper, who's in goal?
Emi Martinez, all day long. All day long. Yeah, you can't drop him for a European Cup game. No chance.
Justin?
Agree, Justin? Do you agree with that one, mate?
Yes, I do. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, we said it earlier. We said it in the preview, didn't we? I think this has got to be a strong game with a view to the Luton game coming up. It's not the most difficult game coming up, so I think we can afford to go a lot stronger in this game, and I think we need to go stronger in this game. So, Emi Martinez definitely starts for me.
Okay, Ryan,
that was an easy one, wasn't it?
Fire off your back four, Ryan.
My back four. I'm thinking more of a back three with Luca Dean on the left going forward. So Luca Dean as my left back.
Yeah. What's your rest?
I'm going for Longley. I thought his performance at Villa Park against Mozart was excellent. So yeah, I think he retains his European Cup starting place. And then I'm going to go in the middle, the big Brazilian, the main man, Carlos. Give us that bit more aerial presence, and Mr. Play every single minute of every single game, Ezri Konsa. That's how I see it. I think looking down that right-hand side where they like to attack us, I think we've got a bit more cover there. And like you say, their left back likes to invert, so we could probably afford not to have that natural right back position. And I just think that just gives us a bit more presence at the back, a bit more aerial ability away from home. But yeah, that's a solid back three, and tough back three in that atmosphere. Yeah. I want to look behind and see them three, like me, motherfuckers behind me. So yeah, yeah, that's my back four, Justin.
Do you want to look behind and see them as well, or?
I'd love to see them. Yeah, I'll happily see any of these players playing behind me. I've gone a bit different, to be honest. I've got Matty Cash in at right back. I think we retain the shape that is you'd say our go-to shape. I know we play this way that Ryan's predicted. I think Carlos plays, but I think Pau Torres might retain his place as well because of the way he retains the ball. But that leaves Konsa out, so now I'm questioning myself about Konsa. But I think the fullbacks, I think Cash and Dean play personally, and then it's up to you to decide the two centre halves. But what this is, you're gonna have to step in here, Luke. You're gonna have to step in and have your opinion on this one already.
You're both all over the place here, so I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, what would you pick?
We all agree on Luca Dean.
I think we've all agreed on Luca Dean, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's just basically whether we revert to this three centre-half false right-back in Europe, or we retain our Premier League sort of way of playing, which is a back four, and then sort of attacking Dean. I think it depends on what we think the threats are going to be from from Az Alkmaar. I think they are good, so good that I think he's going to retain a majority of the back four, which for me, I've got 4 out of the back 5 playing. As I've written down here, I've got Cash, Emi, Pau and Dean, and then I just threw Carlos in because I think he will maybe start. And I think Konsa probably deserves a break, to be honest.
I think Konsa's playing.
So Torres...
I think it's going to be this. I think we're going to go with the same back four as the weekend. I think why I'm thinking this is I'm thinking that basically we've got to win this game.
That is my thinking. I've only made 3 changes from Saturday.
Even though the defenders like Carlos can come in or Longley can come in, I don't think we need to change the defense for this game. I don't think that I don't think it's a case of because it's not a Premier League game, Longley and Carlos need to just come in and play this game. I think he's going to stick with that. So should we just go with that?
Do you think there's an argument that he has left Torres out in Europe, and I do agree with Ryan. And when he said it, the Mr. plays every minute. I do think Konsa plays, but maybe Carlos comes in for Torres then.
Yeah, do we think
Possibly.
He could do that?
Possibly, because he's got that aerial threat. He's got that. Their centre forward is a bit of a unit. And we've said quite a lot actually this season that Torres is phenomenal, but the one side of his game is his physicality. And Carlos, obviously, that's not a problem for him. He's like a brick shit house, isn't he? So it may be time for Carlos to come in and maybe partner Konsa. But I think fullback wise, it makes sense to keep.
It's whether he's fit enough as well to play in a 2, Carlos. So every time he's played, it's been in a 3, hasn't it? Where we've got a bit more cover and protection. But the three of us have picked different back fours.
I think it just shows the difficulty of this game, though, because in normal circumstances we do see quite a raft of changes. The usual suspects: Longley, Carlos, Tielemans. We see a lot of them playing regularly in Europe, but I think we may even see a slight change to the team on Sunday. You might see a lot of the players that maybe would have played in Europe playing in the Premier League on Sunday, and giving them the rest in that game. Because I'm trying to be as respectful as I can to Luton, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're going to be better off playing.
You're trying to say Ross Barkley last minute with a Nakamba assist. That's what
you know. You know what I'm saying. It's less of a risk to play the fringe players against Luton for me than away at Az Alkmaar, which is a game we have to win. I think not have to win, but we would like to win this game. So I think that will be represented in the starting lineup. That's been my thinking about looking at this.
Let's go with that then, and then Ryan, pick the double pivot and then the 2 sort of either side. What are you going with here?
Okay, so if Cash is going to play, then I think Kamara then will play on that right side of the pivot, because we've seen him drop deep, haven't we, and make that back 3 up. So I think Kamara starts, and I think we've got to go Luiz as well. I think we've got to go our strongest pivot, our 2 main men. In that middle, we need to control this game, don't we? And them 2 are in like splendid form. The form of their Villa careers, really. So them 2 start for me. And then further up the pitch, Yuri Tielemans. I think Tielemans plays. He's started every single European game. Probably on that left side of attack there, just to offer that bit more protection against the right back. Their threat down that left-hand side. Might be able to offer a bit more support to Luca Dean there. And then I toyed with possibly Bailey or Zaniolo, but then I don't want to give it away, but I was going to go higher for Bailey. So probably I've toyed with Zaniolo, McGinn as well. Can't quite make my mind up for this one, but I'll plump with Zaniolo. McGinn's played a lot of minutes. He played the full 90 in Europe in the last game as well. So yeah, I was going to go Zaniolo.
Okay, Justin.
Right. I think Tielemans starts, but I don't think Kamara does. I think that's where he will sit. I think he'll sit in a double pivot. And I've retained McGinn as the captain. I think that reflects the importance of this game. I think the captain is a very influential player for us, and he leads from the front. And he's a great player to have in these games where they're going to be a bit tight. So I would retain McGinn in the Tielemans position that we've got there. I'd put Tielemans in the double pivot with Kamara off the bench if needed. And then I was going to stick Bailey in the Zaniolo position, because I think he did well coming off the bench and he'll be full of confidence. And I think based on the statistics we've just seen and the stats and the way they play, I think that Bailey would be a threat in the wide positions against their fullback.
Okay.
Good luck with that, Luke.
I'm stepping in again. I'm going to agree this time with Ryan.
Oof.
I'm keeping Kamara. I'm keeping Louise. I'm bringing in for this position here, Zaniolo, and I am putting John McGinn in this position here.
So you agree with me a little bit because you put McGinn in.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the thing again, same with the defense. I don't think Tielemans, what we've seen so far in this, putting him in the double pivot role, I don't think we have seen the best from him. And again, it's a game in Europe that we've got to win. And I think Dougie and Kamara are in for me. I think McGinn is definitely going to start. And then, like what AVFC Scout was saying about those long balls, the holding it up, then I would go with Zaniolo. But then I kind of agree. Who said Bailey?
Me. You see, we've got to get to the front
Bailey's
two.
here.
Yeah, that's where I'm putting him.
Well, I have got them both in. I've got Zaniolo and Bailey, but I've got McGinn where Zaniolo is. I've got Zaniolo up top playing off Watkins, and then I've got Bailey playing on the right. I think that works a bit better with Bailey playing that wide. So put Zaniolo up top next to Watkins, McGinn back to his left-hand slot, and then Bailey on the right.
Yeah,
you see, I think that allows Zaniolo a little bit more freedom to sort of play in behind Watkins all over that front line. We know Watkins likes to play in the width of the box because we've heard already what Unai Emery said about him. He wants him in them positions where he can finish. I think that allows McGinn to sit in and help out with the double pivot if we are under a little bit of pressure. And I think it allows Zaniolo to use his presence, which he's a big lad, isn't he, to maybe dominate that sort of left-hand side. He could even float over there. McGinn play more in the 10 role that can, swap and change. But I think Bailey with his pace, Zaniolo with his ability and his presence, and McGinn with his energy and his enthusiasm, I think it's a good mix.
Yeah, and that's
I think Bailey's a must, and I think Bailey's a must in that wide position.
That's my team. Apart from I've got Tielemans for Kamara. That's it. But that's the only difference to what you've got on the screen there.
Yeah. So none of us have considered Diaby.
No, only because I think it's a rest. It's a good rest game for him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he can come off the bench, can't he?
Off the bench.
Yeah. Let's not forget that the 5 substitutions. We can change the game at any moment, so it's not an 11. This is obviously we're going to play an 11, but it's such an important. The bench is so important in modern football. So, like Bailey said when he came on the other day, and he impacted the game. Diaby won't be phased by starting on the bench because he'll know at some point he'll have a part to play. As will Kamara probably.
That's 2 changes, then. That is it from.
I made 3 initially.
Yeah, I had 4. I did. So that team we picked there is only 2 changes from Saturday. So keeps that continuity going, doesn't it, for such a big game?
I think it shows the difficulty. It shows the difficulty in these sort of quick turnaround games as well. And now we're into the 3rd game of the Conference League, and it's such a tight group that all of a sudden this mass changes in the other games to allow us to rest players for Premier League comes really massively into focus, doesn't it? Because now you've got a game where it's not a must win, but it's an important game. We don't want to lose it. So now you have to refocus on what what your priority is, and our priority is to get through to the next stage at the very least of this competition. So I think based on all those facts and that we've got Luton on Sunday, I think we go a lot stronger, like we've said here, and then maybe see a lot more changes against Luton, more of the sort of squad players coming in for that.
Well, the other thing is as well, if we go strong here, it might mean further down the line we don't have to go strong in one of the other Euro games. So, because this is quite important. If we lose, then we're pretty much in trouble, really, because we've probably got to.
Well, it would mean
win
with
or
the next
win
2 a must win. Yeah, I would say. So it just shows the importance of this, and pointless getting into Europe and just throwing it away. It's going to be probably the most interesting team selection of the season, I would say.
Yes.
He's got a lot of options. Look how many options we've pulled out there. Different midfields, different defenses, different attacking lineup, and that's coupled with the injuries we've got to Moreno and Ramsey as well. So there's a lot of players in good form. There's a lot of options, and the squad's looking healthy considering the injuries. But like everyone's just on top form at now. Like everyone's just buzzing. I think you guys said it in the preview, didn't you, about how well they're speaking, how much detail they're giving, and that's because they've all just brought into Emery. They're feeding off Emery at now. Like the detail and the videos and the video room that they sit through, they're all buzzing off that now because they're portraying it back to us. They're feeding that information back to us. Oh, look what Emery taught me. This is how I view football now. This is how I view my position that you was on about with Watkins. So we're in an excellent place.
Yeah. Has anyone watched Emery Cam?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Oh, class. His passion. He's so like when them goals go in and he's like, oh, it's brilliant. I could watch it all day. I could.
I think it just shows as well when you see the passion and the when we do score that it's basically the reward for all the hard work he does, doesn't it? You know, you can see when a set piece comes off. The set piece coach, he loves it, doesn't he? Because he's like, all that work is so great. And, we're turning into we're going to Holland this week, aren't we? That was the birth of total football, and we're seeing total Villa football now, aren't we? So hopefully it's just going to improve, and the more players we get back. And I think the players thrive, like Ryan said, they'll be thrive. I reckon they can't wait for these briefings now because they are taking on so much information. And I think it's become so interesting for them now to learn week in, week out against all the different oppositions that it's almost becoming second nature to them now, isn't it? That they get these tactical debriefs and briefings before and after. And it's making them all, you can see visibly on the pitch, much better players. And it's a joy to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just the wins just breed that belief, isn't it? Emery's implementing stuff. It's like, oh, maybe they doubt it. Wow, bloody hell, he's going into too much detail here. But when we implement it on the pitch and it comes off, and you score goals and you win games, and you go 11 Premier League winning run games at home, you're like, Christ, this guy knows what he's on about, and. A lot of players probably won't even get this opportunity again to work under this detail. I think McGinn said how lucky he is to be in like his prime and to learn off Emery. So it's incredible what stage we're at now when it's still gonna grow, isn't it? He's only had two transfer windows. He's only had one pre-season. It's incredible what the evolution this side and this club has undertaken in 12 months. It's bloody marvellous. And I'm glad that I'm sharing it with you guys and everyone that watches the channel and everyone at Villa Park, because we're in an amazing place. Because 12 months ago it was close. It was close to turning toxic down Villa Park. It weren't very nice, was it? It was poor football. It was Gerrard felt rude. I don't know. It felt uncomfortable watching Villa. And now we're bouncing to B6 every weekend. We were bouncing to be entertained and educated, and it's such an incredible feeling waking up every morning as a Villa fan now. It's class. It's class.
So basically, it's a year this week that when we were at the Just 14 event, weren't we? And
it was,
I remember that I was at home and I'd done this episode, and basically it was coming out that Emery was about to be sort of like the number one contender, and we'd gone to this event and we were sat around this table and we'd all had the notification that Emery was in. And then Brian Little gets up on that mic, doesn't he? And he's like, "We've got some news. The new Villa manager." And it even felt special being there, hearing Brian Little announce to this room that our manager was Emery. And, just I can't imagine, we were excited when we was in that room because it was Emery and we understood how good he was and stuff. But you'd never have imagined from walking out that room and then, 12 months later, to have been on this mad journey and the way we play, and you know, we've literally been transformed in 12 months, and it's just class, isn't it? It's class. But not only has Emery done his part, the players have got better. You know, the players have got to levels now. I didn't even think they could get to them levels. Like, I didn't think Luca Dean could now become this left back that's defending well. His deliveries are better. I didn't think Cash could get to this level and be versatile in being a defender or a midfielder. Konsa, Bailey now, like, I haven't really ever been that critical of Bailey, but I'm starting to see now Bailey gets it. Bailey's starting to get it, which is massive for that player as well. So
it's like trust and belief, and he's trusted them players. You know, he went out and asked them to do something that they've never done before: play a high line, press high, you know, retain possession, play out from the back. You know, this was all new. And then when it was a bit rough and we were making mistakes, he protected them. Yeah, was it the Leicester game when he come out and went, "It's all on me. It's all on me. If I ask my players to play out from the back and it goes wrong, I'm to blame." And he protected them, and he let them learn and learn and learn and learn, and fed them information, detail. And look at them now; they're incredible. This is an incredible team. Like, it's ice, isn't it? It's ice, man.
Do you know what the best bit is?
What?
The best is yet to come.
Yeah,
this team hasn't peaked. This club hasn't peaked. What the future holds excites me more than I've ever been excited being an Aston Villa fan for the 40-odd years I've been going. It is mind-blowing to think what this club could achieve over the next 5 seasons.
Yeah, the project feels real now, doesn't it? I know we talked about it since the Championship days, when we got promoted.
Do you know what it is, Ryan?
When we stayed,
you know
up, it's like, this is the project.
Foundations.
It is, mate. We've laid them, haven't we?
Them foundations.
We
know you love your foundations. They are solid as a rock now.
We're ready to elevate now.
Build. That's it, mate.
We are, but the project does feel real now. You can almost taste it, can't you? You know, it's we've got lift off now, I think.
I think under Gerrard we had like scaffolding up, didn't we? We just had like bit of scaffolding. Footings weren't in.
No health and safety.
No.
Get off our site. That's what happened. Gerrard off site. Red card.
He weren't on site, was he? He weren't on site.
He's okay though, because he's got 653 people watching him over in Saudi Arabia. So
watching him lose. Watching him lose, yeah.
Oh,
let's not talk about him, mate.
No.
Right, let's go then. So we'll be back after the game tomorrow night, where we'll be dissecting the win against Alkmaar. So we'll see you all in a bit. But you know, we've spoke the last 2 days on how difficult this game's going to be, and we've got to be at our best to win. So, right, so we'll see you all tomorrow then. So if you hit a like, subscribe, comment your teams down below, or share your teams on social media, go over to our website, and then you can input yours on social media and share it. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.